Hello everybody, my name is Jenna and today is Bookmas Day 9. The topic for today is the top 9 books published in 2016. So, as we have discovered from previous Bookmas videos, I don't tend to read a lot of books published like in the year that it is. So I kind of struggled to get, well actually you know what, I didn't struggle to get 9 books, but a lot of them you've kind of already seen and are going to continue being seen. So I think one of my goals for next year is definitely going to be to read more books that were released in the year of 2017. So with that out of the way, we're just going to get into the top 9 books published in 2016, in my opinion anyway. As always, I'm going to be counting down to my number 1 pick, so coming in at number 9 is Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. Now, I think I've mentioned this book, I don't even know how many times I've mentioned this book in past Bookmas Day videos, so I'm not going to say too much about it. Basically, this book is about a boy named Henry Page who has never been in love, and he meets Grace Town, who is a new girl at school. She is very dirty, wears boys' clothes, and walks with a limp, and basically it's all about the two of them falling in love, learning about each other, that sort of stuff. So this is a very cute book, published this year, debut author as well. This is a debut novel for Crystal, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Coming in at number 8, we have The Call by Potato Gulen. This one, I believe, is another debut. I don't know if it's a debut novel, but I know that it is a debut YA novel, so I thought that was really interesting. It was a great book. I really enjoyed it. It was so creepy. I'm really hoping that we get a sequel to this one, but basically, I really enjoyed this one, and it was published this year, and yeah. I don't really know what to say about these books. Like, they were published this year, and I love them. Coming in at number 6, we have The Fever Code by James Dashner. This is another book that you've seen me talk about a lot recently. I don't really want to go too much into it. Basically, it is a prequel to the Maze Runner trilogy. It is the prequel we have all been asking for. It answers literally every single one of the questions that I pretty much ever had about this series. So I'm so happy to have read this book. I'm so glad that we finally got it, and I just loved everything about it. I haven't been mentioning this, but like I have book reviews and book talks for all 3 of those books. So pretty much any book that is on this list that I have a review or a book talk for, I'm going to be linking in the description box below, and there's actually quite a few of them because I love these books just so much. So coming in at number 5, we have Passenger by Alexander Bracken. Sometimes I forget this book was actually published in 2016 because it was published all the way back in January, and we're getting the sequel Wayfarer as well next January in 2017, and I am so excited for this book. It's got time travel, it's got racial discrepancies, one of the main characters is diverse, and I just love everything about it. I love this book. I am so excited for the sequel, and I'm so glad that I read this one. This is one of the first books that I read this year when I was getting back into reading, so that was kind of amazing. I loved that. I thought it was pretty much a great way to get me back into reading, really, so I am so unbelievably glad that I've read this book. Coming in at number 4, I have a book that is very controversial, and I've learned this because I think it was it was either yesterday's video or the video before that I included this book in my top, whatever it was, and I said how much I loved it and really enjoyed it. The video got like 7 dislikes. It got more dislikes than it did likes, and I've never had that happen to me before, and I'm pretty sure that's because I included Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. This is my top 4 pick of my books published this year. I loved this book. I don't care what anyone says. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and clearly a lot of you didn't like it because that's pretty obvious, but personally I thought it was perfect. Loved it. As a Harry Potter fan, I loved it so much, so I'm really happy about it, and I'm going to keep putting it on my favorites lists no matter what anybody says. Coming in at number 3 on this list, we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay by J.K. Rowling. This book is basically just the movie, well, I mean, not basically, I mean, it is just the movie, like literally just the screenplay, yet it is one of the best books published this year, and I loved it so much. I love everything about it. The movie is amazing. The screenplay is just, it really let me get into the minds of these characters and figure out what creatures were which, because they don't always say them in the actual film. So I love this book so much. It's like literally one of my favorite books this year. It hit the top 3. Again, when it comes to my number 2 or my number 1, I really struggled with this, and I mean, if you guys have been watching my channel enough, you'll know exactly which 2 books I'm talking about here. So again, I have chosen for my number 2 pick, I have chosen A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I got it back from my grandmother today. FYI, she loved it. Like, we had a full-on fangirl moment about Rhysand and how much we hate Tamlin. That happened. This is like my 89-year-old grandmother, by the way. Like, she loved this series, and she said to me, she goes, "So when's the next one coming out?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not coming out till May." And she just sort of went, how will I survive? At least she doesn't have to wait nearly as long as the rest of us. Basically, this is the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it is fantastic. Everything about this book is amazing. Just go, if you haven't read it, just go read this book. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go read this book. And of course, coming in at number 1 on my list of the top 9 books published in 2016, we have Raelia by Lynette Noni. At this point, I don't think anyone expected anything different from me. I love this book. I love this series. You just have to read it and you'll understand. Just read it. So there we go. Those are the top 9 books published in 2016 according to me. Obviously, there are so many other incredible books published this year that I just never got a chance to read. So like I said, one of the goals for next year, like one of my reading goals for 2017, is that I do want to try and read more books that are published in that year. Mainly because it'll mean that this list, like all these lists that I do, are going to be different, because at the moment I think we have seen the same book like 12 times, or rather 9, because we've only done 9 BOOKMAS videos. Not even sorry about that. I love the books that I read, so I'm happy. I still can't believe The Passenger was a 2016 release. I was sure that it came out last year. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite books that were published in 2016 were. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.